Alright guys, welcome back to Community Challenge. We've got FFNEZ here in the purple as the Romans. His third Roman game today. Here on Big Island, he's up against Warlock in the orange trunks. Playing as the Egyptians. So it's his first Community Challenge for a couple of weeks actually, but he's played one or two this year already. FFNEZ, this is sort of his first week, so he's had his first series against me just prior to this game. So it'll be good to see how these guys go here. Played a few games this season. So it should be in pretty good shape. Bit of a weird map, this one, Big Island. Is the island smaller in terms of the size or something? It does actually seem like a fairly small map size for it. I swear it's normally a little bit bigger than this. So our players, opposite ends of the map. I actually quite like this setup here. A couple of golds for our players. Ooh, Warlock is going to have a hard time getting a third gold here. FFNEZ's got relatively close. Oh, there we go. He's got one to the front there. But he is going to have to play quite aggressively in terms of his building placement. In Egypt might be a bit counterproductive for him, although he does have, you know, one over here, a little bit further over here. So if he goes for 3 TCs, what's he going to sort of do here? Maybe he can go one here, and he's still sort of got to climb towards this one, but at least he's got 6,000 gold to do so. It's going to be hard though, he's going to have to forward fortress. FFNEZ on the other hand, I mean he's still got to come forward to get to both of his golds as well. It's just that they're sort of a bit closer to one another, like you can TC here and TC here, and then you've still sort of got that triangle. Build your base in here. Warlock, he's sort of got to play it pretty expansively. It's just a much larger area to cover for his initial 3 gold mines. And that's pretty crucial in terms of your base layout. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, at least he's got that third gold mine. I was a bit worried that he wouldn't have one. I'd have to restart the game. So FF's going to go spears. He's put the barracks, well, the Castellum, because he's Romans, towards the back of his base. But he's been fighting the wolf there, I think that's what the damage is from. Don't know if Warlock's actually... Oh yeah, no, it is Warlock harassing. So Warlock's seen this coming, he's getting loom. Just careful to not slow down his food economy too quickly here, because that can also be a bit of a problem. He's probably going to need to put an extra villager on. Oh, he's going to want to get out of there. He should have done that probably 2 seconds earlier, so she'd actually get out and he could just heal her up with the Priestess of Ra over here. But yeah, FF's actually getting hunting dogs behind this. Pretty nice, but Warlock saved up enough to go for a dock here. He's actually got a lot of wood here. So all he's been doing right now is gathering, while FF, he has invested in, what, 5 or 6 spearmen now. So even though he's interrupted that hunt eco, it hasn't yet really kicked in. And the fact that he's also spent on hunting dogs. But he's caught the dock at a really nice time. Warlock's going to have to try and micro the villager to finish the building. Oh, FF is going to... Oh. Doesn't kill the villager, doesn't interrupt the dock, because he momentarily looks back at his base. So Warlock going to be able to get some fishing done here. FF trying to get the spears through, but he's having to run through or around the far side of the base, so he loses a spear. A bit careless there. Probably could have had it, you know, walk all the way around. Warlock going to be able to age up. Preparing for his second town center here. FF on the other hand. Oh, he is actually. He's starting to get stone, I was going to say. You know, if he goes on any longer without getting any stone, he's possibly looking to commit to some sort of 1 town center pressure. He's going to go on the dock as well, so we'll probably see warships. FF's still just trying to do as much damage as he can there. The scout's not attacking the other spears for some reason, so this is a bit of a detriment to Warlock. He's just going to be aimlessly repairing this, spending a little bit more wood than he needs to, because eventually the scout, even with its pissy 4 damage, will eventually kill the spears. Unless they turn and focus him. What? He's going to need to be careful to not lose his dock through inattention there. FF slowly chipping it down. I think FF actually realizes this. He's sort of banking on that happening. Could be quite crushing for Warlock if he gets 2 or 3 boats out and then they're just not gathering. And he doesn't realise straight away. Because FF's actually harassing the hunt, so this is quite smart. Knowing that he's also still harassing over here, Warlock's only just realised and started gathering again. I mean, started repairing again. He still hasn't got the scout attacking. He's using the boats now, which is a good idea, but he really should have that scout also doing it. So FF poking again, interrupting yet another hunt storehouse. This is putting Warlock a little bit behind. He's got the stone he needs. He still needs to spend a bit, gathering a bit more wood to spend on that TC. FF's a little while away from a TC, but at the same time he's actually going to commit to double Castellum first, put a bit of pressure on with a big unit count. He's doing a bit of fishing himself here. He's only got 1 boat so far, so he can probably get 2 or 3 if he can get the wood in here without getting housed. Oh, he's going to go Liburnian actually. This is a good idea. Try and put a bit more pressure on Warlock before he can really stabilise with the fishing and 2 town centre. Try and hit before Warlock can really afford investing in a lot of warships, but he does already have the resources for 1 trireme. So Warlock possibly going to lose a house. Won't really be a problem because he's already got stuff in the queue. Even if this falls, it's not going to interrupt these. They can still finish. And then the town centre is going to kick in afterwards anyway. But it will mean that he's not going to be able to queue up a warship if that happens. FF actually going to get a second house here, but he is going to lose a infantry unit or 2. And I mean, the house isn't really worth a lot compared to them. Now worth slightly more. Oh, it's not going to interrupt handsaw, so if you had to hit the storehouse early, normally hitting storehouses when there's no villages around isn't really worth all that much, but if you interrupt an upgrade most of the way through, it actually really sets your opponent back. So Warlock going to try and do the dance here. Get his own trireme out. Liburnian. Pretty cheap unit compared to trireme, so they're not too difficult to get a couple out, and then you can even go straight for quick age 3 and then just hit your opponent with the best ship in the game, the Aneris. So Romans have a really, really solid water. Probably the best. FF putting some good pressure on. Still slowly working towards a town centre. Or having the resources to forward tower, and I don't know if that's the best spot for this man, because that's right in the field of view of the 2 town centres. They will actually be able to prevent interrupting that initial gold mine gathering. Warlock going to be able to start his fishing eco once again. FFNEZ for now. Well, he's baited out 2 warships that are more expensive than his 1, so that is actually something really going his way, because these are, what, 350 resources each, and this is 200? Is that right? No, 250 resources and 200, sorry. So he spent 200 resources and the opponent spent 500. Pretty big investment. Oh, and he's going to interrupt this barracks going up. This is nice for FF, really rough for Warlock. I mean, he does have a bit of wood in the bank. He can still just throw down another. But it does slow down his military production here. FF, 33 vils. Warlock on 41. So FF's got a lot more army out. And legionaries are notoriously good under town centre fire. They've got that 20% pierce armor. They've got a relatively high health pool for a counter infantry unit from age 2. So they are quite nice in this situation. Does pick up another villager. And Warlock caught without a huge amount of army here. Decurion's in the mix, so this is a great unit to have. Really forces out spears that don't trade well against the legionaries, or they can just tank axemen and town centers forever. So Warlock is going to push with his warships to try and interrupt that hunt eco, that fishing eco, because right now FFNEZ is really dependent on that to be able to just keep spamming through this. Getting a second TC now, and he's starting to hunt, so he is going to be able to start gathering even if this fishing gets interrupted. It's only one ship at the moment. He's going to get a second though, but if that pops out at the wrong time, it could be really detrimental to him. But right now he's delaying a lot of gathering for Warlock, who's not training any villagers. Has managed to finally force his opponent back with those axemen, but FF does have better production. He does have that one... Oh no, I was going to say, he does have a building over him. He soon will again, considering he does have... Where did he put the Praetorium? All the way forward. That's a really interesting spot for it. So he's going to lose his fishing boats. He has split them up. Warlock's going to have to try and find each of them. Prevent FF just from going for an alternative dock somewhere. FF trying to focus down these structures. Just bait a fight here. Even if he's got to do it under town centre, just because he's got the health pool, got the armour. Legionaries are slower than the axemen, so he has to be a little bit careful with that. Warlock, a really nice fishing eco here, so he's really started to stabilise through this, and he's interrupted that fishing. So FF, I don't know what he's going to look at committing to now. He does have second TC here, so he can catch up on Vil count. In fact, it's 39 to 38. He's, with all the pushing, he's actually dealt a lot of damage here. He needs to not overstay. Just look at taking some nice fights. Decurions in this mix will really make this a tough fight for Warlock. And he does know about that. So he is retreating under the cover of the TC. Well, FF trying to hit the wood line here, because if you can interrupt that, maybe get a villager or two, it'd really be worth it. Bringing the Decurion back. So good control here from both players. FF actually a really nice snipe there. Decurion straight on the gold mine, killing a villager that was really low. But FF's just sitting around too long there. Bit of a misstep. Didn't get a lot of damage done. Sent probably a little bit too much to go and raid around the base, but he does pick off the priestess. So Warlock 41 Vils to FF 43. Not actually training any Vils at the moment. It's a little bit of a mishap there, but Warlock is going to have to contend with armory upgrades here from FF. He's really good at timing those these days. Creeping forward, he actually tends to grab a lot of central hunts quite early, like he's doing right now, because it does mean he can deny his opponent to push forward onto them in the late game. So the Praetorium will go down, but not before the last Decurion is strained out of it. So I think it's gotten its value here, because now this army is really quite solid with those 5 Decurions in the mix. I have a really easy time of killing the priestess. Although FF doesn't go for that there. He should probably engage before the healing finishes up here, because his healing from Decurions is much slower than what the priestesses are capable of. So if he takes this engagement now, it's probably more favourable. Plus, Warlock is closer to his own base, so he's able to actually train up stuff and get it here a little bit quicker. FS sneaking in SPQR, so he's going to have cheaper, faster training villagers. A nice upgrade to put him a little bit ahead. Considering he's not fishing at the moment, he's not found a spot, even though he could probably go to this top side quite easily. Although Warlock, you know, just park those fishing boats, those warships there. 6 pop, just not really doing much. FF's going to snipe at the dock now, but he probably should just turn and fight. He's bleeding a lot of units here, but it is pretty even. Warlock going to have to put down another dock here, and he's pretty starved for wood. Maybe even cancel 1 or 2 of these houses and just put down another dock here. FF losing a lot of units just running through the base though. I think he probably could have taken a couple of fights there. Finding a spot to bully some villagers here. Interrupt the houses, but Warlock's gotten too many houses at the moment anyway, so interrupting this really isn't all that crucial for FF. And taking down the houses like that, it's not a great idea, because Warlock is just training units through this. He's fishing through this, and FF is not fishing through this, so that's always just a spot you don't want to be in, where your opponent get a massive water economy, and you're on even town centers, but otherwise you're just sort of plodding along, hoping that you can just out-trade them. FF is actually up by 8 villages though, so he's made good use of SPQR through all this. It's just he needs to make sure he doesn't slip behind in terms of army size. Warlock actually needs to make sure he's getting armory upgrades because FF is starting to push ahead on that front and getting age 3 here. Better balance of resources for FFNEZ than there is for Warlock, but funnily enough, FF is going to want to get a bit of gold here. He can get Decurion champion, so they're less at risk of camels. He can get Legionary champion, and they're just all round stronger. 20% damage and 15% health, really quite juicy. FF probably could just push here, but Warlock is going to be pushing into his base, so it might have a bit of a base trade situation if that's what FF wants to do here. He doesn't have stacked TCs though, so there's something to keep in mind. But he's going to lose a couple of villages here. The army is just going to head back. Or Warlock. Do a bit of chasing. Force his opponent to garrison. I really hope this hasn't frozen. My god. No. FF, no. Warlock said he pulled the cable. I don't know, like, I really feel like FF had a good chance there. Like, if the army was back any closer, like, this is actually a pretty easy defense in a way, because Warlock's still got a lot of units back at home. But that 20 pop difference is everything back at home for Warlock there. These guys don't have any upgrades. These guys do. So yeah, it's kind of sucky actually. It's quite a neutral game there.